100 days ago, this island was nothing but trees, dirt, and water. But I had a vision. I wanted to transform this lonely island into something incredible, so I gathered resources, built insane structures, and survived through every challenge Minecraft threw at me. From battling monsters to constructing my dream base, this was one of the toughest challenges yet. And after 100 days, this is what I created. Alright, and here we are on day 101. And after spending over 100 days transforming this island, I think it's time to push things further. And I have to tell you that I have some big plans for the next 100 days. And the first thing on my list is a village that I'm going to build somewhere on this side of the island. And it's probably gonna be full of villagers, even though the closest village is over 1,000 blocks away. But before we can start, I need to gather a ton of materials. But before we do that, let's actually mark out where the buildings and a path is gonna go. There we go. And right now it looks pretty confusing, but after we build the paths, everything's gonna make a lot more sense. As you can probably see, for building paths, I mostly use coarse dirt. I also know that I have a lot of dirt left over from the last episode. Now we just need to get some more gravel. And here we are on the gravel island. So now let's grab a ton of gravel. And this process is really annoying because the gravel drops are not guaranteed. So I basically lost almost a stack of coarse dirt because I don't have silk touch. And even though I lost a stack of dirt due to pure Minecraft luck, this is still plenty of coarse dirt. Though I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough. I guess we're gonna find out. I don't know how I did not notice this before, but this place needs a lot of terraforming work, because there's basically just holes everywhere, and in general it looks pretty rough. And okay, I can already see that this is gonna be a ton of work. So first I started flattening the terrain so I can get some dirt. Then with the dirt I got from flattening the area, I covered up all the holes on the island. Now I just have to make this area flatter, so eventually I can build a village on top of it. And this part is totally not gonna be boring. Ring bow, ring bow, ring bow, ring. God, this is so freaking boring. I should be studying, but I'm here mining dirt. Life is good. And it's already been like 30 minutes and I'm maybe halfway done. God damn, it's such a long time. Still cannot believe that I broke and placed 7,000 dirt blocks in one sitting, using mostly stone and iron shovels. But now that the terraforming part is finally done, we can start collecting the materials that I'm going to use for the village. So let's basically grab everything I have in the material chest, and let's make another chest monster. So to start this project, let's create a tiny gate in the front here. This gate is probably gonna look relatively simple. Okay, this took way longer than I expected, and as you can probably see, I'm really bad at building gates. Anyways, now that you have a proper entrance to the village, let's make some paths so we can later figure out where the houses are going to be. And great, I ran out of coarse dirt. But I did make some progress though. So this large area is probably gonna be the marketplace. And this path right over here is probably gonna lead to the church. And now let's mark out where the houses are going to be. And each house is going to be made for a specific villager profession, obviously. And there are 13 villager professions, I think. And so that basically means I have to make 13 villager houses. And there we go, it's been roughly 30 minutes and I actually marked out every single house. And I have to say that this looks pretty cool. And it's already looking like a village, even though there's no houses. Well, now that everything is marked out, let's collect a ton of materials. So mostly for this build, I'm going to be using spruce wood. So let's craft a ton of stone axes. I still cannot believe that I'm on day 171 and I'm still using stone tools. Anyways, now let's collect a ton of wood. Next, I'm going to need some more coarse dirt. Let's also grab some granite and some clay, so I can then smelt it into bricks. Oh, wait, this is gonna take a while. And now using the bricks I just smelted, I can make some bricks. That sentence made absolutely no sense. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need a lot more than that. And probably the last thing I need is oak wood, which I know I have a lot of it left from the last episode. And like every single episode, I'm gonna need some more moss. And well, I think this is everything. Okay, now it's building time. And I'll probably build this village one house at a time. So let's start with the Fletcher's house. So first, let's create a foundation. Okay, looking good, looking good. Let's also add another layer of oak wood. And okay, I may have gone a little bit overboard because I made an entire second floor. And now I just have to repeat this monstrosity on the other side. Nice. Now let's just add a roof to this weird looking building. And there we go, the Fletcher's house is pretty much done. But anyways, now let's move on to the shepherd's house, which is gonna be this small one. Because to me, shepherds are useless. So as always, let's start with the foundation. And I'm actually thinking I should make a second floor. You know what? Yeah, let's just do it. And I gotta say that the shepherd's house is looking pretty cool. Then I built houses for farmers, armorers, toolsmiths, and cartographers. And there you go, 6 out of 13 houses have been built. And that basically means that we are halfway done. But before we start building the big boy houses, let's quickly finish this butcher's house. Now that I'm editing, this has to be the worst transition yet. Anyways, now comes the fun part, because I have to start building the librarian's house. And as you can probably see, this is the second largest house in the whole village, so it's gonna be pretty big. So first I'm gonna mark out where the support pillars are going to be. Now I just have to raise them up a few blocks. There we go. Let's also get rid of this calcite, so we can then replace it with some coarse dirt, granite, and bricks. Let's also make arches in between the pillars. And let's also fill up this area because I keep falling in it. And now before I start making the walls for the second floor, I have to finish these side roofs. So first I'm gonna make the roof trim and then I can go from there. And yeah, that looks kind of good. Now let's just repeat it on the other side. And am I the only one seeing it? But now this looks like a town hall for some reason. Oh, I guess the town hall is gonna be owned by librarians. Okay, now that the side roofs are finished, let's start working on the actual second floor. Now I don't know how should I make this window, because if I do it like this, on the outside it looks good, but on the inside I can't see anything because I'm short, like in real life. But on this side everything should be fine because I'm just gonna make a tiny balcony. Yeah, that looks cute. Now let's just add a roof to the second floor so I know where the tower is gonna go. And the tower is probably not gonna be like super big. Alright, yeah, that looks good. And now that the town hall slash librarian house is finished, let's start working on the weaponsmith's house. And you know what? I'm actually thinking I should add a tower to this house. You know what? Let's just do it and see how it looks. And actually, this tower design looks cool. Now let's just make a simple looking roof. There we go. Now let's build a house for the leather worker, the mason, and the fisherman, because otherwise this video is gonna be an hour long. And alright, now this is starting to look like a proper village, but we still have to build the cleric's house, and technically it's not gonna be a house, it's gonna be a church. And I don't know why I made it so freaking big. So as always, let's first start working on the base. Okay, I just started building the tower and I realized that this tower is going to be super tall. I mean, that's good, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough blocks though. So I made a quick outline, and what the hell is going on with that block? Anyway, so I made a rough outline of the church, and I'm starting to realize that I made this church way too complex. Yeah, I can't even explain what I have here. And I'm starting to think, does this even look like a church? You know what? I don't even care anymore. So anyways, now let's start filling in the roof. And there you go, one side is now finished, and now let's just move on to the other three. And don't ask me why I used logs for this roof, even though I could have used planks. And alright, now that the roof is pretty much finished, let's start working on the tower. And it's really scary being up here, so I'm just gonna go down. So first of all, this tower needs some details, because now it's looking pretty flat. So let's first add some depth to the tower. And yeah, that looks kind of good actually. And above these window thingies, I'm gonna try to make a cross. Even though I have no idea how. No way, I actually made a cross. But now the problem is that I have to make the tower even taller. Okay, now that we are up here, I want to make like a lookout area, because this view of the island is just insane. So let's first make these spiky corners, just like this. Next, let's make some arches, and let's also start making the roof. Alright, so I finished the tower, now I have a problem. I can't get down. But now that the church is roughly finished, even though there's no actual interior, let's move on to the hardest build yet. And it is the fountain. And I'm actually not joking. Fountains are so annoying to build. That's why I never make them. You know what? Let's just get it over with. And first I have to figure out how big is this fountain going to be. And yeah, this seems big enough. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, bro, I don't even know where to start. Anyway, alright, this works. This works. Now we just have to add a smaller ring on top of this one. And now the last thing we need to do is add some water. And there we go, a fountain has been made. Now before this village is finished, we need to get some villagers. Because a village without villagers is technically not a village. And as I said in the intro, the closest village we have is 1,000 blocks away. So let's grab a few boats so we can transport the villagers. And now I have to figure out how to get the villagers across this hill over here. God, this is going to be a lot of work. So let's first get them all into boats. Get in a boat. Get in a boat. Stop talking to the other guy. Get in the boat. Can you please get in the... Dude, get in the boat. Not that boat. Oh my god. Alright, so now we got 3 over here. And now let's slowly head down there. This is so fast. And there we go, finally. That took 5 minutes and I'm never gonna get back. Now we just have to transport them all the way back home. What is my brother looking at? Okay, now that all of them are here, we need to get them to this house quickly before it gets dark. Come on, quickly. Come on, fetch a job. And there you go, they're all trapped in here now. And just for the time being, they're all fishermen. And no way, they already made babies. These guys are fast. And okay, now that the village population is finally going up, let's start work on the fisherman's lake over here. Because right now, it doesn't even look like a lake. So let's first figure out the shape of the lake. And alright, there we go. I kind of like this shape. Now we just have to fill it with water. There we go, all filled up. Now let's just make it a little bit deeper so it seems more realistic. And for some reason that took way longer than I expected, because if you want to break a block underwater, it takes like 1 billion years to do so. And now I have to change this stone into grass somehow. So let's grab some moss and bone meal. And I think I just have to place this moss in like a stony area and then just bone meal it. And oh yeah, this works perfectly. Let's also do the same on the other side. And after adding some details, the lake is now finished. And alright, now it's time to finally get rid of this stony biome thingy. So first, let's get rid of these weird looking pillars. So these pillars were so annoying to break down because every single one of them had a water source somewhere inside. And I also broke like 10 of my stone pickaxes, so that was great. And while I was mining, I was thinking, what should I build here? And I decided that I'm going to build a small-ish cliffside beach. Here's a quick image if you don't know what I'm talking about. So first of all, we need to get some sand. Well, actually a lot of sand. And while I was mining, I came across some weird looking sand. Am I the only one that sees it, or is this sand a different color than normal sand? It's like pink here. You know what, let's just grab it and see what I can do with it. Now I just have to break all of this stone and replace it with sand. Alright, now that the sand is in place, let's start working on the cliffs. Alright, yeah, I like this. And now we just have to continue this all the way down. I'm starting to think this video is actually gonna be an hour long. And alright, now this is looking gorgeous. I also decided that I want to expand this entire lake all the way throughout here. So first I made a rough outline of the lake so I don't make it too big. again. Then I got rid of the remaining stone, and of course filled the empty space with water. And alright, yeah, now this looks like a proper lake. But now comes the annoying part. So I started making the lake a little bit deeper to give it some depth and make it more real-like, you know? I also added an island in the middle because my brain told me to. And also added a ton of details to the lake that changed absolutely nothing. I started building trees, but then I realized I am the worst tree maker in the universe. This tree is looking so bad. Oh my god. Okay, so I've built a couple of more trees, but I forgot to record it. But now this place is looking nice. I just love the vibe of this place. But now let's move on to the last project of this video, the Enchanting Tower. That's gonna be right up here. And now let's make a simple outline. And now the only thing we have to do is build it. So... okay, now that I'm looking at it, this looks exactly like a lighthouse. And I guess that there's nothing wrong about that. Now we just have to add some details to the build. And alright folks, now that the Enchanting Tower is finished, I think this is going to be it for this episode, because I'm heading to bed. Peace.